As the years go by, many of you will know that retro handhelds are getting bigger, better, stronger, bigger battery life, bigger screens, but in reality, I think the magic lies in the pocket-friendly devices. And today, I want to share with you my 10 favorite pocket-friendly retro handhelds of the year so far. There are purchase links below for any of those that are interested, and there are links to dedicated written and video reviews of these handhelds. So without further ado, here's my 10 favorite pocket-friendly handhelds of the year. This is probably Anbernic's best handheld of the year. They finally took the courage to listen to their customers and launch a product that they've been asking for years now. It's a clamshell device that looks near identical to the Game Boy Advance SP with some extra thickness because of the larger 3300 mAh battery. Internally, you will find a H700 CPU, enough power to emulate a wide range of retro games including PlayStation 1, Game Boy Advance, PSP, Nintendo 64, and even Dreamcast games. It's an affordable, power-hungry, portable device that looks pretty damn nostalgic. All of the buttons and ports are designed to replicate the Game Boy Advance SP. For example, the small shoulder buttons are square-like, the hinge looks exactly the same, the speaker location is again the same, and even the tiny grips around the screen edges are the same. So if you like the Game Boy Advance SP, you're gonna fall in love with this one. The display is beautiful too, coming in at 3.5 inches with a resolution of 640 by 480, making it the perfect 4:3 ratio for your classic library. It's incredibly bright too, making it easily visible when you're playing on it outside. The issue I have, and it is the only issue to be fair, it's almost a flawless handheld, is that the user interface in the front end is just a little bit boring, and Anbernic have had this problem for years now. It's just a very unpleasant experience once you turn it on, which is annoying because the device, like I said, is almost perfect, yet they struggle to make a clean, simple, and easy to understand user experience that people can enjoy. It's literally just lists of games and settings and stuff to play around with. So if you can get past that, I think you'll really enjoy the RG28XX SP. One of my favorite pocket-friendly devices is this. It's the Game Kiddy Pixel, a device that truly surprised me upon launch, as Game Kiddy have been quite hit and miss with their product releases over the last year. This one hit different though, probably thanks to the fact that it's made of pure metal. Don't throw this at anyone because it will hurt. It's truly portable, being able to fit into the palm of your hand, and the metal shell cools your hand ever so nicely while playing and makes it almost indestructible to bumps and scratches through everyday use. The small but damn crispy 2.4-inch display nestles into the shell with tiny borders and a cute pixelated logo underneath. The buttons do look large on here, but they're normal sized, I promise. They work well, are reliable, and even the shoulder buttons hides itself into the body naturally, with slight engraving on the back of the shell to add grip, giving it a cozy but mighty feel in your hands when playing. Internally, it's not got a lot of power, but can play most of your retro games up to and including PlayStation 1, which in all honesty, as far as you need to go with a small screen like this. Anything bigger and it just gets a little bit too claustrophobic and too cramped. The user interface has been designed nicely too, with an array of themes to match the nostalgic aesthetic. It has okay battery life, but due to the size they can't pack a lot in here, which is fair enough. This thing is the same size as a Matchbox, so you will get around about 4 hours of gameplay out of this depending on what emulators you use. If it's PlayStation 1, about 4 hours. If it's NES and Game Boy, pushing towards 6 hours. This is pretty much an adorable itty bitty Game Boy in a horizontal form factor. This is the Anbernic RG28XX. It's designed to be a pocket-friendly handheld that targets those who like a horizontal form factor for just $40. It's hard for any competitor to come close to this because of Anbernic's mass production quantities. It packs very little power, very little battery life, and a very small screen, yet it does exactly what it's meant to do flawlessly, and that's entertain gamers on the go. It can emulate most of your retro games up to and including PlayStation 1 games, and it feels like you're playing on an old school NES controller because of its form factor. Again, it uses Anbernic's very basic front end. It's easy enough to navigate if you are a beginner, but it won't be as pleasant as some on this list. The smaller buttons and D-pad is new for Anbernic too. The same goes for the small choice of shoulder buttons, but they all play their part in making this thing pocket friendly. It's one of the best $40 retro handhelds on the market right now. You know, it's not going to blow you away in terms of build quality or performance, but if you want an affordable, truly pocketable handheld, this is one to go for if you like this form factor and grey DMG colorway. If you've been a subscriber for a couple of years now, you will know that I am absolutely obsessed with this. This is the FunkeyS, a tiny clamshell device that can literally fit on your keychain and play up to PlayStation 1 games flawlessly. The incredible team behind this handheld is extremely passionate about what they do, and have put a lot of time to deliver something that looks, feels, and plays great. The FunkeyS features incredible build quality, especially for a tiny handheld of this size, and it's way more comfortable to play on than it looks. With its custom operating system and optimized gameplay all the way up to PlayStation 1, this thing is a heck of a lot of fun in a small package. With a price tag of only $70, this is going to be one that will certainly please those of you that want something truly tiny. The Funkey team have also created their own incredibly easy and beautiful user interface known as FunkeyOS that makes it super easy to navigate your library in a minimal way. This is a great device by a lovely independent team of tinkerers who I have personally spoken with for years now, and they'd be more than willing to help you out with questions before or after you purchase one. They have a great customer service team, which is sometimes unlike a few handheld manufacturers that are on this list. It's a truly cool independent handheld that I love. This is the Retroid Pocket Mini. It's a serious handheld with a serious price tag, and it just about fits in your pocket. They call it the Retroid Pocket Mini. It's not really that mini. This is the same size as a traditional smartphone, and I'd say if it was any bigger, I probably wouldn't have put it on this list, but it does fit in your pocket. I do think this is one of the best retro handhelds of the year, and probably the best 4x3 retro handheld ever made. It's packed with a Snapdragon 865 CPU inside a pocket-friendly design. One would say, and that one is me, that it is probably too much power. And I say that because PS2 and GameCube emulation does work on here, but it's a small screen, so it feels a little cramped, but I know some of you don't mind that cramped screen size when playing these games, so it definitely comes down to a personal preference. Go Retroid have crafted this with comfortability at its forefront, with lovely back ergonomics, zero bezels, analog triggers, and modern LED Hall joysticks that make it stand out. Everything about this is designed with perfection, and thanks to the large battery, it can play most of your games all day on a single charge, which isn't possible for most on this list. It runs on Android, making it an all-round easy-to-use gaming device thanks to the custom setup process, the fact that you can download your favorite Android emulators from the Play Store, and the opportunity to stream games from your console or PC should you want to. It has matched the ease of Android OS with magnificent build quality to create one of the most powerful pocket-friendly handhelds on the market. It's the handheld you buy that makes you not need to buy anything else for a couple of years. And that kind of makes the $200 price tag semi-worth it if you see this as a long-term investment. One of the most unique handhelds that I've had the pleasure to review is this. It's called the PlayDate. It aims to be a unique retro-style games console that offers a gaming experience unlike any other, thanks to its crank. And I would say they absolutely hit the mark on this one. The monochrome display will remind you of playing an old original Game Boy with its sharp pixelated graphics and no backlighting, so make sure you're near a light source for this one or it's near impossible to see. The PlayDate is ultra portable too, coming in at around 3 by 3 inches big, making it feel like you're holding a thick coaster. This is one of the most premium and albeit expensive consoles on the list, coming in at $200, but also one of the most unique ways to play video games. It's absolutely aimed at retro enthusiasts who like to collect cool retro style toys and those who enjoy unique gaming experience that's not available anywhere else. If you're a handheld collector or an avid handheld enthusiast, this is a must grab for your portfolio, as it's unlike anything we've ever played on, and it can be played on for hours on end too, thanks to the monochrome display that basically takes very little power from the battery. But what makes this magical is the fact that it features so many new independent games designed specifically for this console. And every few months you'll get a little notification that says there's new games out now to discover within their own online store, pretty much, because this does connect to the internet. So there's always something going on in the PlayDate. There's always small notifications saying, hey, look at this, or you could download a new game for free, or there's new catalog drops. It's just a magnificent, again, independent games console that I absolutely love that fits in my pocket. Just make sure you're near a screen, because if you're not gonna see it. Probably the smallest console on this list is the Thumby Color. It's a unique Game Boy Advance styled handheld that can fit in your keychain, and even your mouth, if you want to put it there. Designed by Tiny Circuits, a well-known maker in the tiny electronics scene, they have built and successfully crowdfunded a miniature handheld that can play uniquely developed games on a colored 0.85-inch square screen, which has a resolution of 128 by 128. Yeah, it's less than an inch big, this screen. It's tiny. It comes preloaded with a handful of games, some made incredibly well on such a small device. For example, it has the classic Connect 4 installed on here, but then a pretty advanced monster game that gets you fighting 3 mythical beasts using the included buttons, which really impressed me. Simply put this on your keychain, in your bag, or in your armpit, and you won't notice it because of the size and weight of this thing. It's not one that you'll spend hours on end, but it's a cool, sophisticated little gift for retro handheld enthusiasts that, you know, can keep you entertained for 15 minutes on the bus, or if you're on a 20-minute train journey, for example. This is pretty cool, but the battery life will only get you an hour or so, which is pretty itty bitty. But then again, it takes like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or so to charge it. Like, it's just small in every way. One of the most premium retro handhelds of the year is this. It's called the AYANEO Pocket Micro, a $220 Android-based handheld that is crafted with perfection. AYANEO are renowned for making high-end devices, and this is the first time they've explored the sub $250 market, and boy am I glad they've done that. The AYANEO Pocket Micro runs on Android, but has a AYANEO Space front end developed by their team. It features a Snapdragon 865 CPU that can emulate GameCube, some PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64 and PSP very well, alongside the ability to play your Android games and stream from your PC or consoles. That said, because it's pocket friendly, it features a small 3.5-inch bezel-less display, making larger games feel a little cramped. So it's best to use this for older consoles, with the biggest being Dreamcast in my personal opinion, and then using an upscaler to upscale the resolution should you want to make things look super crispy and super modern. The rectangular nature doesn't make it as ergonomic as some of its competitors, but it makes it look incredibly unique and unlike anything else at this price range. It's one of the most powerful pocket-friendly devices out there, and if money is no object and you want the Apple of retro handhelds, then this is it. It truly is a remarkable device, and one that I use weekly. And actually, I think it's going to be really high up on our best retro handhelds video at the end of the year. It's truly remarkable, but it is expensive. This little fella launched a good while back, but I still use it to this day. This is the Anbernic RG NANO. Again, like, I don't know why I do this, but the mouth test, like, can it fit in your mouth? Like, how small do you want this to be? Well, the RG NANO features a 1.5-inch display, 64 megabytes of RAM, and a 1000 milliamp battery. Oh, and adorable little action buttons that I just can't get enough of. They're like little like monkey nipples. Wow, this review's got real weird real quick. But because Anbernic are known to put profits before innovation, they have used the FunkeyOS instead of their own, taking work from a small independent manufacturer in Europe. It truly is a dog-eat-dog world, but that said, it does make the device super fluid. Like, the FunkeyOS is perfect for this thing, but it just goes to show you where Anbernic's incentives and ethics lie. That said, it's a superb product with great build quality that will last for years to come. Perfectly located shoulder buttons, a stunning screen, and USB-C charging, which you can get about 2 to 3 hours on a single charge. Again, these things don't have the biggest battery life, and because of the super bright screen on here, it does like to drain it quickly, but enough to get in some games while on the train or on an airplane, for example. And last but not least, this is one that I didn't actually want to feature because it's almost impossible to get, but I do love it and I want to give it a little bit of spotlight because I'm hoping that one day these things just come back to market. This is the Miyoo Mini. And there's no real evidence as to why it isn't made anymore, but the rumors have it is that they can't find anyone that can manufacture these displays for an affordable price. If they were to manufacture it, it would be an extortionate price. These displays no longer exist. So what they've had to do is create a Miyoo Mini Plus, a bigger device that I have somewhere that just isn't as pocket friendly and loses its charm. This is a matchbox sized device that is absolutely gorgeous. I've got the transparent blue here. It's got an adorable little display that's super bright, runs on a really cool OS that's easy to use with save states, load state, cheats. It's pocket friendly, the same size as a matchbox, has USB-C charging. The buttons are perfect. There's really no issues here. They've got these really minimal shoulder buttons on the back that make it even more pocket friendly. It's almost like the perfect mini Game Boy that you can't buy anymore. And it's a real shame because this thing sold like hotcakes, sold so much that they can't even get the screens anymore. So I just wanted to put some spotlight on it. If you can find it, buy it because everyone wants it. It's the perfect mini display. It's the perfect size. It can play up to PlayStation 1 really, really well. And GameCube Advance on here is just, but you can't buy it, which is really, really sad. So there you have it. A look at my top 10 retro handhelds that are pocket friendly. I believe that this is where the magic lies. You can keep going bigger, better, stronger, more powerful, but what we truly want as gamers on the go is pocket friendly power. If you want power, the Retroid Pocket Mini. If you want pure premium design, the AYANEO Pocket Micro. If you want something for the $40 range, the 28XX. If you want something that's pocket friendly, you don't really have a price tag, is made of metal and it's gonna last years to come and can play up to PlayStation 1 games, the Kiddy Pixel. If you want something that can fit in your mouth, the Thumby Color. If you want something that is clamshell and can fit in your mouth, the FunkeyS. If you want something that's unlike any other games console I've ever played, the PlayDate. If you want something that you can't get, the Miyoo Mini. And if you want something that's an all-round juggernaut that also fits in your pocket, and I think if anyone bought it, they would be super happy, the Anbernic RG28XX SP. There you have it. Links below if you want to snag one. Thank you for watching this. If you want to support us further, we do have Patreon. If not, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.